Harris and Biden appearing together for the first time since the president dropped out of the race. What helps Harris win, more or less of being with Biden? Let's ask Cenk Uygur, host on the Young Turks, of course, one-time challenger to Joe Biden, and Chris Hahn, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. Simple question, single topic, so let's just get the best take. Chris Hahn, more or less of Biden and Harris helps her win?
Look, I don't think Biden hurts her, but I don't think he helps her. I don't really feel endorsements generally help anyone, for that matter. And I think that if she wants to make this a change election, a move on from what used to be election, she needs to do that on her own.
Can you do that, Cenk, when you were part of the administration you want to move on from?
Yeah, you can, but look, less of Biden. The problem with Biden is twofold. Number one, it reminds people that everyone who was in the administration pretended that he was fine when he obviously wasn't fine. Obviously, that's not good optics. Second of all, I love that he made the right decision, which Trump didn't, which was to let go of power. But the brother's got to be a little bit more gracious now. I mean, he barely talked about Kamala Harris in that appearance. And they've got to complement each other in the places that they agree. So the way to run on that is for Kamala Harris to say, of course I'm proud of the infrastructure bill, and we're going to get bridges and internet access to everyone, and roads that are going to be fixed. So I'm proud of that record, without belaboring their personal appearances with Biden.
You know, Chris, I got a question for you. Do you guys realize yet that you're not playing by the same set of rules as your opposition? That Trump can do things, say things, and be in a way that you can't if you want to win, and how to figure out how to counter that with Harris?
Oh, it's been my number one talking point the last week. They're grading Trump on a curve, and we're not going to get that same curve. We're not going to get that same break. Anybody who said he was disciplined today was lying through their teeth. They should have just said he was disciplined for himself, which means he's completely undisciplined by any other matter. But yeah, you're right. We are not playing by the same rules, but I think that if we could make this election about Donald Trump and not about anything else, I think it's actually pretty good for America, because I don't think America wants him. It's the same old shtick. Everything he did today, he's been doing since 2015. And you know what? They even had to end Seinfeld because people were going to get tired of that, too. I think the American people are tired of this guy.
Ending Seinfeld was a mistake. Cenk, here's the problem. Here's the problem. A battle to the bottom, I think Trump wins. I think this is a grievance election. And I think that the way for Democrats to get on top of it is to reverse it. This is what he's against. Here's what we're for. Isn't that the key for Harris and Walsh? Or do you think in a battle to the bottom, you guys win?
No, we win if we run any kind of rational campaign, and I don't believe when they go low, we go high. I think I hate that strategy. Look, Chris, I argued in the beginning that Biden was too old and Trump was too crazy, and I think I'm right about both of those things. Trump is totally unhinged, and I think that one of the things they should do is find someone like me and appoint me Trump czar, and let me at the son of a gun. Okay, I changed the gun there. Okay, like I would rip him up politically and rhetorically, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you would,
look,
but your side doesn't enjoy it as much. Your side doesn't enjoy it as much. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.